this place creates.
Been shooting PRS since 2012, and when Tom asked me to come along back in 2014, it just kind of went hand in hand with the shooting I was doing at the time. I watched it, helped it grow from a baby to what it is today, so that's why I feel like it's one of my babies right now, so that's why I love it.
Because
this is where you do all your cutting.
Everything's cut here, yep. And the machines are running, so background noise, there's a lot of movement on those machines.
Well, now, Tom, I remember we went up to a school. You had a young man that just got out of high school that was running that cutting machine that you bought. Is he still working for you?
No,
Not.
he's not. I remember the boy.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He moved to Florida.
Really?
I think he's back in this area now.
But that was your first cutting machine you went out and bought.
Mm-hmm. We had to cut a hole in the side of the building to get them cutting machine in. I hired some locals with the saws on. We cut a hole in the brick wall.
Yeah.
And hired a lull to lift it up and put it in the hole in the building.
But it did a good job.
I still got it. It's sitting out in the warehouse right now.
How about that?
Yeah.
We don't use these are new cutting machine.
They got a lot more capacity, do a lot more stuff. But so here we'll get this one going, and you'll get some B-roll, the heads running and everything. But
who draws your design for what you want to cut?
This is my product engineer. He starts, like, I'll come to him and say, hey, I got an idea for a product. I want it to do this and look like this and be about this side, and his mind can see it and make it into one-dimensional pattern. He's not many people can do that.
Really?
And he's really good at it.
How about that?
Yep. He's really good at it. And there's not many people left that do that anymore, you know? They're just not. All our patterns are cut on a CNC cutting machine of one form or another. This is one that will draw on the fabric so the ladies can line up two pieces of fabric. This one cuts high plies. It'll cut a stack of fabric that high, which is great and a time saver unless you need pin marks on the fabric and it can only do the top layer. We also have a laser cutter. Certain fabric, as the laser cuts it, it also heats the edges and kind of burns the thread so it will not fray. And that way you don't have to clean the edges of the fabric per se. So, but they're all CNC. That gives a consistency. Every time we cut, it's exactly the same. It's a huge time saver. We can turn the machine on, tell it to cut 100, pull the pattern up, and then just let the machine do it.
So if you come up with an idea of something you want to do, you tell your product guy, and then he lays it out.
I have a product engineer, and his mind can see the three-dimensional product, and he can lay that out in a one-dimensional pattern on a computer. And basically, we get it right. Almost, you know, we're 90% on it the first cut. And then we go in after seeing the finished version, and make the changes to get it 100% live.
Everything's computerized.
It is. Huge time saver. You remember working in the mill, everybody cut my hand. And we've done that. When I had one machine, we had our first military contract, and the machine run, and I didn't know how to fix it. And I was waiting on somebody to come from Texas to try to fix it, and I was rolling fabric out on the floor, cutting with one of those hand cutters, and it wasn't nearly as consistent as these machines here will make it. Yeah.
And y'all work 7:30, 4:30? 8 to 4:30.
But we do a half an hour long. Get on with it.
Most of your employees live here around Buena Vista.
Everybody.
Everybody. This has been good for Buena Vista too.
I think it has. You know,
I know it has.
We've hired people from out of town that's moved here from out of state. Some of the professionals that work for us and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, it's just locals, and a lot of them. Years ago there used to be a sewing plant in every town in the South. Well, those are all shut down. We started. We found a couple of those ladies that used to sew in those plants, and they knew some others, and they knew some others, and we put together our base. Now we're hiring younger people and teaching them how to sew, and you'll see that later. Anyway, you can see it drawing on the
Yeah.
stuff.
It really is.
Yep.
Chris, can you pick that up? Where it's drawing on the fabric? Can you see that? Where they gonna cut it? Right here. I don't know whether your camera will pick that up or not. It probably will. Man, times have changed since when I was in Texas. All right, ready to move on?
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Good one, gentlemen. Here, man.
I told him I'd let y'all know when it's gonna be on YouTube, and that way the guys can watch it.
This next trip, we're going to skip and come back to it.
All right.
It's actually just kind of the way we grew into the space. It doesn't flow exactly like it should. You might recognize that employee right there.
I think I might know that employee right there. Hey, good looking.
Hey,
How are you doing, huh?
I'm good.
Wow, you've grown up.
You see how hard it is to get good employees?
I see. Got daughter working.
I know.
Hey, how y'all?
See you good. We'll be back in here in a minute, y'all. This is Mike, the product engineer I was telling you about that does my patterns.
This is the brains of the outfit.
Pretty much.
How you doing? I'm Ted. Mike, good to meet you.
We're going to do a little show for a cable show out of Alabama, just on the product.
Out of Phoenix City.
Yep. Good.
And I'll let Tom know it'll be on YouTube. Y'all can watch yourself on YouTube. All right, thanks.
So basically, once the product's cut, the patterns go in, they go on the shelf ready to cut. All these already have orders with them. Basically, I can look at it and see these are ready to cut. Some things may just be, we know we sell a lot of these, so we just keep them always cut on the shelf.
Always in stock. And this is Missy. She's the vice president of whatever.
Of operations.
Everything.
She runs the
Armageddon
whole
Gear.
place.
When Tom's gone, you in charge. When Tom's here, you in charge.
This is Miss Brenda. She's in charge.
This is
From
Miss
that door
Brenda.
backwards, she handles it.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good to
If I
meet
have
you.
a problem, I just make her handle it.
There you go.
Well, that's my job. With the problems, you handle the problem. From that door back, Miss Brenda runs this show. Missy handles all the office stuff. But this is, so once the pattern is pulled, it comes in here and doing a little,
Hey, how y'all doing?
little video.
Hello.
But once,
I'm great. How are you?
I'm here.
at least try to look busy, some of you. Come on. But anyway, so once the product comes in here, Miss Brenda will pull whatever it is that she wants to get done, the next job order. It'll get sewn, run through here, and as you can see, a plant like we might have worked in years ago here, you would have done the same things over and over and over. We might do 100 different products in a week in different colors and stuff, so it's hard to have efficiencies like you would in a piece rate type of mill. We don't have that because we may change. Lady might change thread 2 or 3 times a day, change products 2 or 3 times a day, and sometimes, quite frankly, I have to remember how to sew a product she might not have sewn for a couple of weeks.
Now these are heavy duty machines.
Yeah, I mean they are. We used to use a lot more walking fit machines. We don't anymore. But yes, they are heavy duty commercial machines. But I mean, they're not. You know, this fabric, what she's showing here doesn't require it.
Yeah.
But we do have some products we make where there'll be a lot more layers, and it's a lot thicker. So that's where you need a.
I believe you've been running a sewing machine for a while.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
She does. She used to sew boat covers out in America's at a boat plant.
Really?
Yep, when I found her. Miss Pam, I don't know what did you used to sew?
None.
Yeah, she's sewn everything.
Oh, I've sewn everything. My mom made drapes, and I worked on boat stuff, and
That looks like a vent panel.
It goes. I'll show you on the finished product.
All right.
But yeah. Good. Folks take care.
y'all have a great day.
Y'all too.
Once it's a sew room, it comes in here for inspection and like final assembly, like the gun cases. When it comes in, it just comes in fabric. So it's got to be stuffed with foam. The foam actually provides the protection for the rifle.
Yeah.
The zippers have to have the little pulls added to them, right?
That's what
shoulder
your
straps.
daughter's doing over there now is adding pulls, isn't it?
Yep. That's it. And so
Cabela May.
this is the finished product. You know, so and these are all going to the Army. Well, actually, we do this many a month.
Really?
Yep. This
Wow.
is 1 month. Well, when this order's ready, it's going to be 120. We're doing 120 a month of these right now for the military. Actually, they go to Barrett Firearms. Barrett Firearms packages them with their rifle and then ships it to the military.
Is that right?
Yeah, but yeah, ultimately it's the military. We sell a lot of shooting bags, you know, like rear bags, front bags for the competitors and snipers and stuff, and they're filled with sand and beads and all kinds of different things. So, I mean, it's a full-time job just to fill bags.
Oh, so that's a sandbox.
Pretty much, except it's plastic beads.
Really?
Yeah, but we also have sand. This is the stock room. Pretty much as soon as, I mean, here lately anyway, the last year or so, when it comes in here, it's pretty much going into an order, getting ready to ship somewhere to somebody. And we have dealers. We have, you know, probably several hundred dealers now across the country. We have dealers in South Africa. We have dealers in Australia. We have dealers in, I think we have one in France now. I have a couple dealers in Canada. We got
Wow.
just anywhere, you know, UK. We have dealers. So this is it's going out. I mean, anywhere people are shooting high, you know, long range rifles and care about the quality of the gear they're using, you'll see our stuff there. So, but these are just simple little, they call them rear bags. Old Army guys would call them sand socks.
Yeah.
But they've come a long way in the last few years. Now, these would go on the front of the rifle, or more precisely, this would go on a wall, barricade, a fence post, anything you want to set the gun on the hood of a vehicle, and then the rifle would sit on there and balance. So the rifle's basically balanced. You just steer the rifle, and you take a shot without loading into it, like we used to teach years ago. It's a different shooting technique, but this is what, you know, most are teaching now. Some are not, but this is.
Long range shooting's come a long way too,
It
hasn't
has.
With the guns, the ammunition, and the equipment that
That's
you
right.
supply for them to use.
And the knowledge of the people doing it
Yeah.
has grown immensely. You know, the things that were hard in long-range competition, 1,000-yard shot used to be a hard thing. Now there's mile shots and 1.5 miles, and there's a competition now called the King of 2 Mile, and it's a 2-mile competition. And I mean, it just what we can do with the increase in knowledge and better equipment and is amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing. So, but yeah. So, of course, making long-range shooting stuff, we sell a lot of bags, and the shells are pretty much bare, Ted. I mean, it's going
Well,
on.
that's a good thing.
It is a lot of slings. one of our biggest selling products is suppressor covers. Suppressors is a huge market now, where 10 years ago there were a handful of suppressor companies selling those. Now there's dozens and dozens, and most civilians have a silencer or suppressor now. I personally use them for hunting just because I don't want to have to. I hunt with my daughter. Our guns are loud because I have a muzzle brake on it so it won't kick her. Well, it's so loud I worry about her hearing, and I'm like, you got to put earplugs in if you see a deer coming. Well, that's not good, so I just got a suppressor put on there. It reduces the recoil, and it's good for your ears. So
to own a suppressor, you have to get permission from the federal government. Is that right?
You have to purchase a tax stamp. It's a money thing. It would be the same requirements to be able to purchase a firearm. Don't be a felon, all this kind of stuff. But you go through a process to pay the government a special
and
fee.
You have to do that every year?
No.
Once you do it, you got it.
For that suppressor.
For that suppressor.
And suppressors are super popular now. Law enforcement agencies using them. Military's using them. Civilians are using them. There are matches now in the sport of long-range shooting that's a requirement that you must have a suppressor there if you're going to shoot. Just because it may be a lot of shooting around on a range that has more people around, or it's better for the ears. It's but they're but the cover, so they get really hot. And when they get hot, heat comes off of them, and you're looking through a scope, and you got all this heat coming off, and you get this heat mirage.
Yeah. So
they're called suppressor covers, but their job is to mitigate the mirage that you would see looking through your scope. And it's a requirement to shoot a long-range rifle if you have a suppressor to have something to hold that heat in. So you can't. Yep. And of course, night, all the hog hunters and stuff now.
Yeah. There's
2 or 3 of you standing side by side shooting, and blows your ears out. So everybody, I transfer a lot for hog hunters, mostly farmers and stuff. We sell a lot of gun cases, Ted. I would say we sell as many gun cases as any American manufacturer there is. Even though we're a small shop, we do a gun case for every DoD rifle. We just finished one for H&Cat of Columbus. It was a 2-year contract for a sniper rifle for the Army. And now we're doing one sniper rifle for SOCOM, which as soon as we're done with that, the big Army's picking that up, and then the Marines are supposed to as well. So we do lots of gun cases, and we ship them all the time. These are boxes ready to go out. This is a UPS pickup for today. The post office is already coming. But these are the post office usually come out here this way. She's already been here,
so the post office just brings the Jeep down here, loads it up, and goes back.
They actually had to buy our carrier. It's a rural area, so it's usually a private vehicle. They had to buy ours a van because we load it down.
Well, that's good.
It is good. It is good. So that's really the gist of it. We're proud of what we do. We've grown pretty quick in just a few years. And
I don't see how you kept up with it.
And our product
I remember when you started off with a sling.
Yes, I did. In my garage.
And this grew from a sling in the garage to what we see today.
That's
amazing.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Well, Tom, I appreciate you letting us come down and showing us your business and talking us through it. I think it'll be something to be very interesting to folks when they watch it.
Well, thank you, Ted.
And it will be on YouTube. It'll be on channel 207 in Phoenix City. Of course, you don't have their cable here, so you can't see it.
I'll see it on YouTube.
But I'll let you know when it's on YouTube. You can kind of put the word out, and your folks will get to see themselves on YouTube a little bit.
Sounds great.
Well, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate you letting us come down and take your time up.
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate it.
And you take that beautiful daughter of yours supper tonight.
I'm going to. Matter of fact, we're leaving in 6 minutes.
Well, I was going to say it's getting about 4:30.
Yep.
And that's when we're supposed to leave. So thank you, sir.
Perfect.
There are those that would say that small-town America is a thing of the past, and manufacturing in America is dead. But there are companies that still believe Made in America means something. To us at Armageddon Gear, it means a sense of pride in making something good for our countrymen to enjoy and making something reliable for our men to defend our country. It means making full use of the hard-won liberties our country provides to pursue the American dream, and the satisfaction of employing our neighbors and bettering our community. At Armageddon Gear, not only do we make the best gear available, but we take the time to ensure every employee understands how the gear is used and why it has to be so good. We test every product to ensure it meets our standards before offering it to you.
Let's see your Chinese factories do that.